Hello, it's been a while since we've been on our public YouTube channel, so I thought I would start us off with talking about overwhelm. Overwhelm is when things become too much to handle. This comes from various different reasons. Maybe you have too many demands, too many responsibilities, or you have an excess amount of emotions or an excess amount of stimuli. Whatever the source is, it can leave you feeling stressed, having difficulties with coping with emotions or processing your thoughts to think clearly. You can have physical symptoms like pain, insomnia, fatigue, and many, many other symptoms there. So the most important thing to know when it comes to overwhelm is what you can do, what you can put into action to help combat and overcome the overwhelm so you can get back into a more functional state of being. So there are 5 things I'm going to discuss with you. The first one we'll be talking about is grounding. Then we're going to talk about reducing stimuli, prioritizing your schedule. The 4th thing we'll talk about would be setting boundaries. And then the last one is seeking help. So let's look at each one a little bit more closely. With the first one, the grounding, this one's all about getting you back into the present moment. Because when we're stuck in overwhelm, we're typically going to be in the future. We're always thinking about the next thing that I got to get done, the next thing I gotta get done. So we're always in the future there. So grounding is gonna help get you back into the present moment, and that's where you're gonna be more effective, is in the present moment. So how do you go about doing that? Well, one of my favorite ways is to use all 5 of your senses. So your 5 senses are sight, hearing, smelling, touching, and taste. So that might look like you're going to name 5 things that you can actually see in the environment around you, and you name them out loud. You might name 4 things that you can feel, different surfaces you can feel, describe what they feel like, and then you keep going down the line with each of your other senses. That's going to allow your brain to get back into the present moment, and then you can practice other grounding skills like steady abdominal breathing, moving your body, giving yourself the things that you need to fuel your body. All right, so that's number 1, and the one that I encourage everybody to practice at some point. The second one is reduce your overall stimuli. So this one, typically would ask people to reduce their screen time. Anything that has junk light and a power source, reduce your exposure to that, even if it just means 5 less minutes a day, right? Start from somewhere versus not at all. This is going to help reduce the overall burden on your nervous system, because when you have overtaxing amount of responsibilities and demands, or maybe different emotions, all of that's affecting your nervous system. Some of those things may be out of your control, but your exposure to screens and to junk light is within your control. So reducing at any level will be of benefit to your nervous system. The next one is number 3 is to prioritize your schedule. We often will have all of our to-dos and demands in our head, and that just adds to the chaos, right? We're trying to keep track of everything, and that keeps us just in our thoughts and not so much in the present. So when you can get all of those things out on paper, you can look at them more reasonably and see what's the reality of what I'm dealing with right now. What's the most important thing that I need to get done, and what's the most important thing that needs to be done by me, not someone else. Any other things you may say, okay, this is going to be next week, or maybe this one I'm going to delegate. Maybe delegate to a child, to a spouse, friend, family, or even hire somebody. So getting it out on paper and prioritizing your schedule is an effective tool with overwhelm. The next one is boundary setting. So this one might be challenging for some of you to hear, but oftentimes our overwhelm can be brought about by poor boundaries. We take on too much. We say yes to more things than we're actually realistically able to take on. That's not true for every situation of overwhelm, but it is a common thing to see. So set your boundaries. When you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else. So make sure that what you're saying yes and no to is within your value system. Boundaries can be a very difficult thing for some people to understand and to implement and uphold. So that's where number 5 comes into play, and that's seeking help. Seeking help is of benefit because when we're dealing with overwhelm and we're stuck in our head, we only have our perspective to go by, and our perspective can get skewed pretty quickly when we're stuck in overwhelm. So what I would say is look for someone who's reliable. What I mean by reliable, I mean they are trustworthy, someone that you trust their opinion with. Yeah, you trust their opinion, and they have what you're looking for. So you wouldn't ask somebody who's in a frantic state and trying to juggle too many things, and the balls are constantly dropping and they're crashing with their health. You wouldn't seek their advice, right? You're going to want to go to somebody who has it down. Maybe you've seen them in a place of overwhelmed and they didn't live there, they got out of it. That's a person to ask. A coach can be a very helpful person because as a coach, we're here to help you with transformation. We want to help you change your behaviors at a deeper level, not just at the surface of habits. We want to get down to the root. So a coach can be very helpful with that, or a counselor can be. There's many different options out there for seeking help. All right, I hope this is a helpful video for you. Stay tuned in the next couple weeks. We're going to have another video with a new topic from Coach Callie.